Hello?
Hello. We always have to have a really awkward start. Maybe we should edit that part out of the YouTube videos.
Nope. That's how it is now. See, I hit start recording. And it's streaming now, too. So, like, anyone who watched the stream and then they go back and watch the recording be like, wait a second. What about those 10 awkward seconds before the show started? Where did those go?
Throwback to that time that you didn't hit record.
You're never going to let that go.
I am not. It was a fantastic show.
It was a good show.
Gone in
that was
space? Internet space?
Internet space. No, it didn't even make it to the internet. It was
made
in...
it to air, though.
Yeah.
It made it to someone's radio.
Yeah. Someone. Yeah, because I just remember specifically Mrs. Oliveira was listening to it, and you were talking about like power to teachers, and she was like, yeah.
Was that the one?
Mm-hmm. Because we were talking about...
I thought that was the one before that. I can't keep up. We didn't even know what show this was when we came in here.
I never do. We haven't been in here for like a month.
That's true. But the R.A.M. show's our baby. Shouldn't we know that we're on the 7th episode?
Maybe you can.
It feels like it's been more than 7. It feels like it's been a whole bunch.
Nope. It's been
Maybe
7.
It's just because they're so long that it feels that way.
Well, they're not even that long because we started this during school and we had like limited time anyway. So they were only like
45 minutes.
Yeah, 30 to 40 minutes.
And now they're an hour.
Yeah, the last one was like an hour.
Well, now that we have more of an open studio, we can just crank them out.
Yeah.
Because people want to hear us.
We'll just do 10 in a day.
There's a demand. Supply and demand.
Huge demand.
They want
for
to hear
more
us.
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, you guys are listening to the R.A.M. show. Hello. By the
we
way.
probably should have mentioned
We didn't
that.
actually do that. Yeah, episode 7.
We're a little bit rusty.
I'm Mitchell Payne.
I'm River Tuck.
Yep.
Been in the studio for a while. Oh, we just have teachers strolling through here, apparently.
Oh.
Hi, Mrs. Holbert.
Hello.
You just come give us an algebra lesson in the middle of the R.A.M. show?
Yeah. I only, because I was in her math class for like a couple weeks, and then I had to switch out of other classes, and then hers was just like an unfortunate bystander.
Collateral.
Yeah,
it
collateral
was like
damage.
Education collateral.
And I actually really liked her class. Like, she was just super fun, and it was just a good time.
Are you just saying that because she might be able to hear you out there?
No, I very much meant it.
So I've been kind of busy. I was gone for a weekend. Yeah, a weekend. Me and my family packed our bags and went up north. We went to the far north. We went all the way up to the UP, went up to Pictured Rocks, which is pretty far up there. I think it was an 8-hour drive. I wanted to...
Pictured Rocks isn't in the UP.
Yeah, it is.
No, I went there.
It's in the UP.
I've never been to the UP, but I'm pretty sure I've went there.
Well, someone lied to you.
Somebody kidnapped me and put me on a boat.
Maybe there's another...
And I just showed up in the UP, and I was like, yeah, we're still in...
Maybe there's a less famous Pictured Rock.
Maybe.
Or maybe they just didn't tell you when you crossed the... Maybe you're sleeping when you crossed the bridge and just didn't realize it. It's pretty easy to realize.
Wait, no, because it was when I went to go see Niagara. So I would have been in... Because I was in Canada, that's why. So I was still, like, over there.
You cheated America.
And I was just thinking, yeah, I haven't been in the UP, but I've been in Canada.
Yeah, so we went to Pictured Rocks. The trip wasn't so much about Pictures Rock. Well, okay, so we drove up there, 8-hour drive. That kind of sucked. Luckily, we were in the party bus. I feel like every family trip, if you take 2 cars, one of them always gets stacked as the party bus with the cool parent and the cool siblings, you know?
Are you just singling out your family already?
I have a
as
large
having
family.
Cool and uncool people?
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow.
Because Riley was stuck in the other car, and we just had me, my 2 friends, and... my older brother and his girlfriend in there. So it was like no adults allowed. We kicked out the adults and drove out there. I originally was going to drive the whole time because I have my permit right now. I'm supposed to be getting hours and stuff. So I was going to drive, but we didn't have an adult in the car. We just had my brother who didn't count. Yeah.
Wait, but if he has doesn't he count if he has like a license?
He's not 21.
Oh, you have to be 21.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's still a little baby. I'm sure he'll enjoy that one. Yeah, so we drove all the way up there. It was a painful ride. We did pretty well for a while with like sleeping and then talking and then sleeping but then I think as soon as we got to like nearing the bridge, that's when we started to break down and everyone had to go to the bathroom, and one of my friends had some claustrophobia problems that he didn't warn me about beforehand, and we were in the back seat of my truck, and those aren't historically spacious. So we got up there, went to a gas station. this gas station before the bridge. They were just making a living off of being the gas station before the bridge. They had like 6 people out washing cars as they pull into the gas station. So I've never actually seen like gas station attendees. Like I thought we stopped doing that. Their entire inside, like half of it was just Mackinac merchandise. There was fudge. And then my friend jumped out of the truck, ran off into a nearby field a couple 100 yards, and just started doing jumping jacks and stuff because he really was not digging the claustrophobia. I exaggerated. Yeah, I got in the truck, got over the bridge. My friend I think he had been to the UP before, but just didn't know that the bridge sways a little bit when you go across it. Like, it sways from the wind since it's a suspension bridge. And my brother started hyping it up like it really sways, and he was very gullible to that, and he started getting really freaked out. He's like, nah, man, let me out of this. I ain't going over the bridge. It was really funny. And so, yeah, luckily we didn't fall off the bridge, surprisingly. We made
Is it really surprising?
It is. I'm here.
Is it actually shocking?
We made it to we made it across the bridge up north. It was once we got over and we were actually in the UP that we were driving that it was kind of a bum. I mean, it was like, it's really beautiful driving around in the UP and these roads, but it was just, there wasn't anything to see or comment on or talk about. It was just straight roads with trees.
Yeah, lots of trees. Yeah,
it was a lot of trees. Yeah, so we finally got up there. There was like one town before our campsite, and I remember the road because there was this tiny town and it had like a motel, a gas station that had so many people at it, and then there was a road down to, and the road would always split off with campsites. Well, we were like one of the farthest ones down this road, and it was just this straight road, no curves, really hilly, and trees on either side, and it was like beautiful. You could just see to the end. I think and it pointed at the sunset one night when we were coming home. It was dope because we had to keep going in and out of there whenever we went to Saginaw, Lake Superior. Yeah. Anyways, so I had to drive all the way back there, and when we got there, it was middle of the night, and we were talking about VHS. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
The horror thing? Yeah. You know the horror movie?
Horror movie?
Yeah, you never heard of it?
VHS?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I mean, well, there's just...
Yeah, there's the Thing.
Yeah, I'm
VHS.
like, I know the Thing of VHS.
No, there's a horror movie. I'm not going to explain it on here. Don't want to get anyone spooked through the radio. Oh, yeah. Anyways, we were talking about spooky. VHS. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and we were still driving. We hadn't made it up there yet, and this was just a bunch of kids in the car, and we were talking about horror movies and stuff, and we all started to get, me and my gullible friend started to get really freaked out because we were just driving through these woods, and it was, you could only see so far in front of you down this straight road, and it just kept getting progressively creepier because the farther we went get to the campsite, the more the road narrowed, and the more it was, and then it became dirt, and the trees leaned over, and we just got more and more freaked out. And then we didn't see anyone or any signs or anything. My brother was just following, and we didn't have service, so we didn't have Google Maps. Luckily, he screenshotted it. That was an ordeal, trying to get a screenshot of the Google Maps to get there. And we drove through all the winding terrors of nothing. It was just trees, but we were spooked. And we got up to the campsite, and my brother was already passed out in his tent. The first car made it up there a while before us, like 8 hours before us, because my other brother who was driving the truck had to work. So we got up there, but we had the luggage because it was my truck. So everything got packed in the truck bed. So they didn't have anything with them while they were there except for whatever was in my brother's trunk. So they had like a tent and a picnic table that was already there, and that was it. And we had tiki torches that were going to keep mosquitoes away. We had all the stuff that they needed to actually like survive, and they were just like tormented for 8 hours supposedly. So it was a great trip. We went and waterfall hunting. I was being a butt. They wanted to go hiking, and hiking's not my forte. I was like, okay, hiking is just walking with a destination. I don't want to do that. That sounds lame. Why don't we go kayaking or something? They wanted to hike.
I mean, I'm just thinking, you said like waterfall hunting. I'm like, compared to hiking, I mean, everyone.
Well, I didn't know about the waterfall.
Everyone knows where all
hunting.
The waterfalls are.
Like, I know.
We have maps.
So when
there's the waterfall.
So when my brother calls it waterfall hunting, I was like, excuse me? He told me that we were planning a trip to go waterfall hunting in Ohio. I'm like, what do you mean hunting? He's like, we're going to go find waterfalls. I'm going to be like, you don't find them. There's like maps, right?
They're there.
He's like, yeah, whatever. So, we went up there and we were going hiking, and it was actually a lot more fun. I shouldn't have been a bum about it. And we were climbing around in all these really awesome trails, winding around these rivers. And the first trail wasn't that difficult. And then we got to the next one. And that's where the actual like waterfall was. And my younger brother, we dared him to go stand underneath it, and we have pictures of that. We have tons of pictures. Most of them not in because I was running up ahead of the trail because I wanted to find like more dangerous stuff. So then we found some more caves and stuff and caverns carved out by the water, and we were climbing up them. I got some bruises on my elbows from it was not my most spectacular moment. I was like wailing to try and get myself up over the ledge, like flailing my arms and legs trying to get up over the ledge
at a waterfall.
Oh,
I don't think whales go over there.
You did it. And so we found another waterfall, and this one was huge. This one was like gigantic, and all of the rest of the group had went down, and they were trying to take pictures and stuff, and me and my buddy were in the back, and we're like, wait, man, this looks like a little bit of a trail here. So we climbed up this really haphazard trail of roots that was barely there, while everyone was down, not even paying attention, and we got all the way up to about level with it. Well, the only way to get across this gap to get over to where we wanted to go on top of the waterfall was this one root from a tree that was hanging over the ledge. So I had to step across this root over like 100-foot drop over this gap to climb over. I climbed over it, and my friend takes one look at it. He's like, "No, I'm not doing that." He just went back down. And so I went and stood on top of the waterfall, and they look up and they're like, "Wait, what are you doing up there?" So I have some sweet pictures of me standing on top of a waterfall looking fairly triumphant and scared because I didn't know how I was going to get back down. That was fun. And we rented a pontoon for our last day, which it was pretty cool. Pontoon rental place was super nice, and none of us have ever really sailed before. Like, we've all like been on a boat at some point, but none of us have actually sailed ourselves. Or I guess it's not sailing if it's a pontoon.
Yeah, wait, stupid question. What's a pontoon?
It's like it's not a small boat. It's like a cheap boat, I would almost explain it as. So it's really flat. It's basically just like a rectangle. It has one engine in the back, whereas most boats normally have like two for shallow water. It only has one engine. There's a driver's seat, and it's really open, and it has like a canvas over the top, and it's mainly just to have like a group of people on, just to go sightseeing or whatever around the lake or spend the day out on the lake.
So it's just like a floating tent with an engine.
Yeah, it's like a party boat, and like the anchor they gave us was only 10 pounds, which did nothing when we finally wanted to use it. Yeah, it was terrible. So that part they overlooked. We definitely needed a better anchor. So we were driving or sailing, whatever, through the water. We were going over to Pictured Rocks because where we launched from was farther away from that. And the one thing dude told my brother who was sailing it was like, okay, there's these tourist boats. There's these giant, like, yacht-sized tourist boats that are going back and forth, and their job is to just do a trip. They go. There's like two of them. Or there's like three of them on alternating
ferries.
Yeah. And they take people out, look at the rocks, oh, pretty rocks, and then go back, right?
Yeah.
And drop them off with kayaks, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, whatever you do, these people are going on the same route over and over again. Don't get in their way. They're not gonna move. My brother did not really listen to that. We were looking at Pictured Rocks, and we were going, and everyone's just kind of chilling, doing whatever. He's sailing. He didn't he claims he didn't see the wave that was coming at us. It wasn't a wave you could really see, per se. He underestimated it. He was going full speed in the pontoon, hit the wave, water comes crashing over our pontoon. For whatever reason, his girlfriend was standing behind him trying to take a picture of the rocks and caught it right when it happened. And there's this really awesome picture of me with a red Solo cup holding it out in the air, trying to make sure no water could get into the cup. So, yeah, made a meme out of that. And the water crashes over. Everyone gets soaked. We were all like half asleep because it was like we were tired, and it was just really nice, and everyone was just chilling. And it came out. We had no warning whatsoever. He wasn't like, "Oh, there's a wave." We were just sitting, and then all of a sudden, soaking wet. And I stand up, and I'm trying to like start to like strip my wet sweater off, and everyone's trying to like do whatever. And my mom goes like, "Where's your sandal?" Well, I had taken my sandals off when I got on the boat, And we turn around, we look, and my sandal is off the boat, gone out. I still had one of them, and the other one we could see it. Someone pointed it out, and I was like, oh man, we lost my slide. We got to go back and get my slide. Well, my brother, not being a hipster, you don't know what it means either.
No.
They didn't know what a slide is. It's a sandal without the part that goes in your big toe. A slide. Okay. It's just like,
I gotcha.
I'm not wearing them now, so I can't prove it. Because I don't have one anymore.
I actually have them.
So I was really frustrated. I was like, this is my slide. He didn't know what I meant, so he didn't turn around. So rest in peace, my slide that's floating somewhere in Lake Superior. Now I'm sure someone got a souvenir out of that. Like, oh, look at this size 13. So now I have one of those as a reminder. So I have to go shoe shopping now. Because my other tennis shoes, I used to go hiking, and now they're covered in mud, and they're still wet, I think. So I have to go shoe shopping and get brand new shoes.
Just throw them in the dryer.
They were like covered in mud and stuff, and throw
them in the washer.
They have holes in. It's total.
That's fine.
They're old.
That's what I do to my shoes.
I've wore the same tennis shoes for like 2 years. That's what I do. This is a reason for me to get new shoes.
Like people always, they always talk about like, oh, I have like 25,000 pairs of shoes. I have one permanently. I have one until they break, and then I get another one.
Well, then you aren't using your shoes enough then.
Yeah, that's true. I never go outside.
You must not be putting them to enough work.
I mean, I go running and stuff.
Well, maybe it's just like growing pains or whatever, that all my shoes have a hole located precisely where the side of my pinky bumps into it, my pinky toe, because it just slowly digs away at it. So all of my tennis shoes, right where that, because it's always flimsy mesh right there, because that's just how they're made.
How tight are your shoes that your pinky is able to grind through them?
It just happens. I don't know. I guess I'm an active person. Maybe I walk bad. Maybe I have bad posture, bad walking, and it just slowly digs. So like, I have those shoes scattered around the house that I don't wear anymore. And my brothers do it too, where it's just dug out right in that one spot.
Maybe you're all like, oh, there's words for like, if your feet are like angled inwards when you walk, it's like pigeon-toed, or if it's like angled outwards,
we might be
so like
whatever the outward one is.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking if you walk inward, then your pinky would be pushing up into the edge of your shoe.
Maybe I'm pigeon-toed.
Yeah, so maybe
that might be what it is.
Gotta walk wider.
Well, it's an excuse to get new shoes for going back to school, which I got really angry. I think it was literally August 1st. I saw a back to school ad from Walmart, and I was furious. I started screaming, and my mom's like, "Why are you screaming? I'm tired. I just had a shift at work." I'm like, "Mom, it's a back to school ad in August."
I mean, a lot of schools like do start in August. Like when I lived in Illinois, school started on my birthday. It was on August 16th. That was the first day of school.
That's a terrible day.
So on August 1st, you have like 2 weeks, which I think is a pretty fair game for sales and stuff. We just happen to start later. Like I think most like Michigan public schools start later, but some private schools, I know one that like just starts earlier and they get out earlier. That's just like their thing.
I'm not digging these back to school ads. See, I do back to school shopping the night before.
Yeah.
Normally, my mom will go out and come back with like notebooks and pencils and unreasonably high amounts of stuff that I don't need more than one of.
Get all those crayons.
Love you, Mom. But I don't need crayons.
I was really thankful, like, because like every year you get like the list of stuff you're gonna need. Or at least like I guess you did for like a long time, but it's like every school I went to, because I've been to a lot of schools, but it's like I up until like high school, it's like I always needed crayons and like markers, and like I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't think I've ever gotten one of those in high school. I remember getting them in middle school, where it was like binder, and it had to be a certain type of binder, a certain size and certain color and stuff. And like these teachers are really doing the most.
I mean, in high school we still get emails from teachers, and it's like this person's you're gonna need like a graphing calculator, and you're gonna need like a kind of journal with nice binding. And
well, we're going in our senior year now, and I feel like we can't be expected to do much. Like really though,
you're like already in full what is it, like senioritis mode? Yeah,
already. School hasn't even started. I'm like, oh man, I want to graduate.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Okay, but your entire freshman, sophomore, junior year, you're always claiming that you have senioritis, and the seniors look at you and they're like, nah, man, you can't say that. You're not a senior. Well, now we're a senior, so we can say all those jokes that only seniors are allowed to say.
I mean, I'm supposed to be graduated, I guess, because I'll be 18 in like a week or two. No, a week. So technically, I should be graduated.
But you're too mature for this.
I got red-shirted.
You got red-shirted. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited for senior year because I feel like it's really laxed, and at least watching all of the seniors through all these years, watching all the seniors that I've known go through their senior year is always just like they can't be bothered to do anything at all, and the teachers know that, and it's just an interesting dynamic that. Why are we here for the last year? It just slowly but if it was 3 years, the third year would be the bum year. So
yeah, it's always going to be one of the years.
Then we just have to bum out and do absolutely no. Well, that's the other thing is that you've already gotten. Depends on your situation. You've already gotten most of your requirements done, so you just have a bunch of electives. So you really just come, or you can have early release and all that, and just come and bum out for the day, or just not show up at all.
Yeah. I think like if there was like if people like expected you to have like a gap year between high school and college, then I think senior year would be more serious. But it's like everyone's already like applying to colleges like now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like your GPA, like, because you can like submit it at like its best time per se. So if it's good like right now, early senior year, and then it tanks later, you just send them your good one.
Yeah.
Like right when it's happening, and then they'll just take that.
When you peaked.
Yeah. So it's, of course, senior year doesn't really matter as much when it literally doesn't even have an impact on your next year. So if they wanted it to actually be more of a thing, you just need more time before you actually start applying.
The whole
to
college application dynamic is really interesting part, and I think it's changed over the years. So parents have their own expectations, and it's so much more fueled now. You have to have like a 4.1 GPA. You have to be above and beyond. You have to have done all this different stuff by then, so that way you can it's a lot to take in. And I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really understand it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna be smart, and they're gonna know I'm smart. They're gonna talk to me. They're gonna be like, yeah, you're smart, you can come to our college.
You thought colleges would talk to you.
Yeah, no,
that's where you messed up.
Yeah. You thought, oh geez, let's start blasting colleges right now.
No,
blast the system,
because everyone yells at standardized testing, and like everyone just wants, like, I want there just to be an automatic interview process. I want them to talk to me. I want them to get to know me. And I'm like, do you think that colleges have the time for that? They don't
have time for that.
Like, I realize standardized testing is necessary because it just makes the filtering process easier. Like, it's not about you, it's about them.
I think all those strategy games that you've been playing where you're maxing out efficiency have kind of grinded down at your morals, so you're to the point where everything must be efficient. You mean actually talking to the kids and figuring out efficient.
No.
They are all numbers.
Take a test, filter out the lowest 50%, take the rest of them.
They're John Does and Jane Smiths, and I just want to leave it at that.
Yeah.
You'd probably be happy with the number system that we talked about, where you just give everyone an ID and a series of numbers.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would easy to identify people.
Easier to identify people, and you can
I mean, granted, I guess like I'm biased because all my scores were okay. My AP scores were fine, so it's like I'm not.
That that dystopian or utopian society is looking really good right about now. I feel like there's been a really big rise in utopian and dystopian society, like culture right now. Like, you mean like books and movies?
What a statement!
Like books and movies. Well, there's a lot of books. What was that one? It was like 19 something. It was like
1982.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Well, it was written a while ago, but it just came up when with the recent election. It like had a big surge.
Yeah.
Because people, I don't know, because apparently you want to read about how messed up everything's going to be. I don't know. I've
never read it, but I think isn't it
it
supposed to like predict like some kind of
I don't know.
like communist takeover of like
that'd be a fun segment. Give us book titles and then we have to guess what give us book titles and the cover, and then we'll call the segment Judge It by the Cover, and we'll have to make up what it's about
every week.
I assume that one is about a president, just because of when it became popular. I assume it's about a president making us all go to war or something. That sounds like
I don't think it's about war. I think it's just like the people who like just the society that you live in is just like overbearing and depressing, because it was written by Orwell, and you and I did all the AP Lang stuff.
If it's written by Orwell,
and
you're in for a fun
It was
trip.
all about the shooting elephants thing.
Yeah, and then there was that was an interesting story.
Don't shoot elephants.
And then there was the other one. It was the Handmaid or something. Have you heard about that one? They actually ended up making a Netflix series about it, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it was a Netflix series, but I think it did get some sort of spin-off show. It was a book. I remember reading the summary online at some point, but I don't remember what it was about. It's another dystopian or utopian. I don't know. I don't know what the book's about.
The utopia is like
it's the utopia
perfect,
dystopia,
and
though.
then
Yeah, like you know, like The Giver, where everything's so perfect that it's bad.
I think that's still.
Is it still a dystopia?
No, I think it's still a utopia, but I think there's just like the inherent thing about a utopia is that it doesn't.
It's not supposed.
It's
it doesn't
not
work.
right.
It's not right. Utopia's in itself. So does that mean the word is in itself like oxymoron or ironic?
Yeah, I think it's supposed. It like. I mean, I don't know if it was always supposed to do this, but it's just always been used. Like, if there's a utopia, it's like something's wrong.
Something's really wrong.
You
If
know,
we
it's
got
like a
it all
movie
right, it's
about a
wrong.
utopia, and there's the one guy who like looks out the window and sees the sunset, and he has emotions now, and he's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it has emotions now. It's a utopia if we don't have emotions.
No, because I remember there was
yeah,
a
The
movie I
Giver.
watched.
That
what-
was The Giver.
No, well, I mean, yeah, The Giver too.
Yeah. Oh, there's
was,
more than one where people want to take away emotions.
Yeah,
for
and there's
utopia?
like, and he turns into like a ninja because you're supposed to like take these
Well,
pills that like negate your emotions.
I guess and
so for
that's
some reason
exactly
he
The
doesn't.
Giver. Was this
No.
written before or after?
No, The Giver. There's no pills.
Yeah,
People
there's a
just
shot.
don't.
There's a shot they take every morning. Or no, in the book it's a pill. In the movie it's a shot because I
I
guess
read
they
the
wanted
book.
to make it
I
more
don't-
edgy.
I
No,
don't
it's a
remember
pill.
that. No.
They also have to start.
No.
They don't take it until they're older. The pill isn't for emotions. The pill is for sexual desires. Basically what happens is they go to
I
their
could see
family
that.
unit. Remember, because they're not put with their own family. They're
Yeah.
at a family
Yeah, yeah.
unit. They whenever they bring it up to their parents, because they have to have at night, they have that like talk where they talk about everything that happened in their day and how they're feeling. Yeah, they go to their parents and they're like, "Mommy, the girl looked pretty today," and mom's like, "Time to get on the pill, son." And they just become blatant and gray, and also they're all colorblind. Which
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really big issue. That would make life really hard.
I mean, not if
You
everyone's
can't have stops.
colorblind.
You can't have stop. Well,
Because
they
then
all ride bikes.
you would just figure out a way. Everyone, you wouldn't
would
have
figure out a way.
stoplights that are colored. You would
Yeah, but they
just
don't
use like
have cars.
symbols instead of.
They don't have cars there. They have bikes in the book. Everyone
Wait, why
rides
don't
bikes.
they? Why don't they have cars?
don't
What's
know.
wrong with cars? Just get
Well,
like battery powered
power?
cars.
It's too much power. Well, it's too much freedom. They don't want people to leave
yeah, I
the
guess it
place
could
and
go
go
too
because
far.
there's like I saw some fan art of like, or no, it was in the movie that they had it where everything's like in these little bubbles or like sectors and they're not like conjoined. And people, the way it ends is like the dude like runs away and with a child because he didn't want the child, because if a child is like defective in any way, they kill it. That's the whole ultimatum.
Right.
That's the climax of the story, is that he finds out that the babies are being murdered. And then he also gets color. He can see color.
Yeah,
because
he
that's a
sees
big
like an
deal.
apple and it's red, and he's like trying to describe it, which is like a really interesting experience because he doesn't know what colors are. So he's like describing like what the heck is wrong with this apple? Like it looks different than everything else, but it's like he can't just say it's red because it's like it is red.
It might have just been the fact that I read the book in middle school, so
You
it
read?
was it.
You read the book. The apple's red.
All right.
Okay,
Anyways,
continue.
so the book, middle school, it was, yeah, and I liked it then, and then I watched the movie now, and I didn't like it as much.
Never
But maybe
watched
it
the
was
movie.
just that the book was written. Maybe if I go back and read it, I'll decide that it's written poorly. I don't know, but the movie was all right.
Yeah, I think the movie just kind of took some liberties. Like, I mean, I never watched it, but I just heard, like, you know, it was an okay movie, but it just kind of took some things away from the book that made the book. So that's why I never really wanted to watch it. And I never wanted to watch because I read the Divergent series. I didn't want to watch those movies either.
That's another one where it's almost the utopian society lies in stripping away emotions. Like most of them don't have, or they have emotions, but it's not like,
yeah, it's all
they
just
try to
segmented.
yeah, they try to segment everyone. So
Yeah.
like the erudite, those were the scientists, right? I think so.
think
or was
so.
that the law? Was that the law side of it?
I don't remember the specific
Anyway,
names.
yeah. So like the science people are all like really quiet and kept to themselves,
Stereotyped, sciencey
and
people.
the law people are all really stern, and the dauntless are crazy and have tattoos, and
Yeah.
and then the gray just have no emotion and they just give to people because
Yeah.
apparently your capacity of giving is decided on how emotionless you are.
No, there's the nice people who are all about giving. The great people are like
they're
the
nice.
wise elders because they're not influenced by emotions. So they like
No, the abnegation was gray. They were
Yeah,
they
those
were
people.
nice to people. Yeah,
No, but they weren't nice. No, the
They
great
were the
people.
giving.
No,
They
the
were-
nice people were different than the great people. The gray people were supposed to just be
you mean
perfect thinkers because they
Right.
weren't influenced by emotions. Because the nice people are like happy, fun times and roses. So like if there was a war,
you
they'd
mean
be
the
really
yellow,
bad.
You mean the yellow group?
Yeah, the
They
yellow
were the
group was the
farmers.
nice people, the farmers.
Yeah, and the gray was yeah.
Mhm.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And then there was the group of homeless people, because in a utopia there's still homeless people. You don't remember? Yeah, there was all the homeless people going around because they like got kicked out of their faction or something.
Yeah.
Because like Dauntless has cuts
People
if you're
who
not. If you're
met.
not
Yeah,
really
like
strong.
if you're not good at whatever it is that you were supposed to do,
If you're
then
not
you get,
swole and you don't have enough tattoos,
swole.
if you're not scary enough to stand on the walls with a gun and shoot at nothing,
Yep.
because there wasn't anything. They didn't find out until like after they let that book series really let me down because it was really great to start with.
I loved
and
the
then-
first book, and the other books just.
because the farther it went, the more and more there was romantic scenes between Triss and Four.
I guess it's like spoilers, by the way.
Sorry,
Whoops.
well,
If you haven't read it by this point, I mean,
yeah,
we're kinda
really though.
older,
If
yeah.
you haven't read it at this
It's
point,
not like Game of Thrones or anything.
like if I
It's-
spoiled Harry Potter, do you think someone would be really offended?
yeah.
You'd be like, "Oh
Can
my!"
I do it?
Wait,
I just
what?
want to yell it out right now.
Harry Potter dies.
No, Dumbledore dies.
No, Harry Potter dies too.
Snape dies.
I'm ruining
Harry
for
dies.
You
Hermione
obviously,
dies.
You
All of
obviously
them
have
die.
not wrote the.
Yeah, I didn't write the books. River, thanks for letting me know.
I don't like tongue. That's the first time I think I've really been tongue twisted on there.
The first time, really?
Yeah, we're pretty
you
solid.
lack experience.
We're yeah, because
I'm-
you're so mature.
I'm so
about to be-
disappointed
about to
in
be
how low you
18.
are on the totem
It's
pole
already
here.
it's already coming in.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be 18. Oh wow, I'm gonna be able to sign my own permission slips because I'm totally gonna be going all
Or you
over the
could
place.
or you could just drop out of school,
Oh yeah,
That's
I'll
the thing, you
totally
could
do that.
do
That's a
that.
good idea, right?
and then you could just become full-time radio guy.
Well, I won't be able to come to radio if I'm not, because I'll have volunteer
you
status and I'll have
You could
to.
get you could sneak in here,
Oh yeah, sure.
we'll
With
just
all the
leave
locked
the
doors
door.
and stuff.
and we'll leave crumbs and stuff for you.
Crumbs.
Well, I mean, your whole role here is that you're you know everything about everything that has to do with radio and
Not
technology.
everything.
So
I don't know
just-
how to operate that stack over
just-
there. I'm bad with hardware. Remember, that was our first
Oh,
RAM show
yeah,
episode.
Hardware and
Hardware
software.
is tough for me.
So if someone spilled juice on that, you'd be
Yep, it's broken.
it's
Call
broken. You wouldn't even try.
Call
You
it.
just look
Nope,
at it and be
it's
like,
over.
"Oh, it's done."
Because I feel like anything I touch on that would just ruin it more.
Do you dream of a utopian future where all hardware is replaced with software? Is it even possible, man?
I think that's impossible. Well, no, I
Except
suppose
for
because
one
the thing that
piece of
bothers me
hardware.
about hardware is all the fact that like you have to set up all these different devices and they'll have cords and buttons.
Mhm.
So I suppose if we had like a Google-esque just like server room that all was just
Well,
processing
if someone blew
power,
it up, though.
that's completely different. It's underground. It's
Well,
in a vault.
I'm just saying, if we're writing a book about this and there's some sort of like one piece
Yes,
of hardware, or
if
something,
the
there's like a
cloud
chip.
is like
So here's the thing: software all around the world, all
Okay.
powered by one tiny chip. It doesn't even have power going to it. It's just a little chip, size of like a
the
fist.
rarest chemical in the world.
And we just threw it in the ground somewhere in someone's backyard. And now, if anyone wants to like destroy it, they would have to go and find it.
Well, I think the part where it's thrown into some backyard makes it a little ridiculous. Because then it's like the first
So
chum
you
with
want
a
it to
metal
be-
detector.
So you want it
just
to
comes
be
and
more.
finds it.
You want it to be more like in a movie where they take the thing that they're supposed to be hiding and like put it on top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
they'd have to put it in like some, like
Insane-
super secret place. Like if the
Some-
government is like very oppressive, then it's like the rebel group has to try and go and destroy the chip, and it's kind of like a pseudo EMP.
Yeah, and
And
it's
it like just wipes out all technology.
It's put in some place that's supposed to be hidden, but in reality, it's not hidden at all because it's in the most obvious place ever.
inane
Like,
place.
oh wait, it's at Area
It's like at
51?
Walmart.
Who would have guessed that?
Yeah,
Who would have
behind
guessed that it was in the bunker that everyone knows about, or on top of the Eiffel Tower? Who would have guessed? That would have been
just
so
like
hard to figure out.
taped up.
No,
there,
if you really want to
like
hide
Scotch tape.
something, just go into some random American suburbs, pick out a house, and just throw it in the backyard. Just dig a little hole, throw it in. You don't even have to dig deep. No one will ever find it.
Or just don't have anything valuable that's physical, and just do what I do.
But
and
you
just
have
like,
to have
just
hardware
like make
for the
it.
software. You have to have a single computer that powers a AI that somehow goes around the world without the use of any other hardware.
Well, that can't.
You can't. You have to
Well-
dream big. You're so shook by this. You've just been combated.
I'm just
with
thinking
the,
of like a flying robot that powers literally everything.
Yeah, you've just been combated with creating a single computer that distribute software across the entire world without the use of anything.
Well, I guess,
else.
I mean, I guess that kind of brings you to like the singularity, right? Which is like a really interesting kind of philosophical concept. The singularity is when like, you know, because everyone's scared, like, oh, we're going to make robots and they're going to take over the universe, right?
Will Smith. We'll just call up Will Smith when that happens and he'll kill them all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I think the idea of the singularity, if, you know, forgive me if I'm remembering this wrong, but it's when technology becomes so advanced that it can create its own more advanced technology, and it exponentially increases until
when
technology creates its stuff into infinity, and then the world kind of like ends.
Wouldn't the technology realize the inherent problem that if it creates something better, it'll replace itself?
But it's technology. It's not selfish in that way. It doesn't have emotion. So its only goal would to be create something better than itself. I mean, it's like parents, you know, they want their kids to have a better life than they did.
But we have emotions for a reason. We don't just have emotion. We do.
Okay,
for
this
science,
is about to get serious. Do we?
Well, I remember reading something that emotions are, well, because it's all chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's originally, or I don't know how to explain this. I'm not a science guy, so I'm not Bill Nye. So don't quote me on this and don't bash me on this. But like the chemicals are released to do different emotions that will ultimately make you react differently to things. Mm-hmm. So like anger, if the body for whatever reason thinks that you shouldn't be doing something or whatever, it gets you angry. I don't know how it works. But like we have a reason. So what if eventually robots decide they do need emotions?
No, because see, like, so like imagine like you're in a forest, because this is pre-technology, right? If you're thinking about emotion, it's like you see a cougar. If you're not afraid of it, you're just gonna be like, oh, I want to go pet the little kitty, and then you get eaten alive and you die. But see, at this point, technology doesn't need to be afraid, because it's like everything's kind of safe and standardized now. Like it doesn't have to be afraid.
We haven't even found other life yet, though.
It can logic out the fact cougars are bad for you.
Okay.
We know this. We have access to this technology. We don't need to be afraid. We just know if I go to this cougar, I will die.
So the AI would flourish on Earth, but what if we put it on another planet where it doesn't have any knowledge about what's on the other planet?
I'm sure the AI would be able to gather information in such a way that it doesn't. It's more advanced than people. It doesn't need emotions to like.
But the whole idea with space that everyone struggles with is that we can't even fathom what is out there. I mean, it doesn't matter how many Star Wars movies we make. It's not going to happen. We aren't going to guess.
I think that's
how it all works.
Fermi's paradox, I believe. I'm surprised I'm remembering all of these terms today. Fermi's paradox is like the fact that we haven't seen aliens yet is really shocking, because it's like if the universe is, quote, infinitely big and we are just one little infinitesimally small speck of it, if we're life, there like should be life somewhere else.
Well, it might be,
and
to
it
the
should
point.
Be at least advanced enough to see us. So the fact that we haven't,
well, that brings up the idea that if we're so advanced, maybe, or if they're so advanced that they can see us and so and so, maybe they have decided that we're not worth intervening with. That's where a lot of these video games where
like
you're
Star
like
Trek-y
there's a lot of these video games where like you're trying to make sure no one interferes with a planet. Like you're the good guy, the bad guy's trying to go steal some precious resource from this planet from these people who have no idea what space even is yet, and then you're trying to stop them or whatever. So that's the ultimatum where like these. Maybe there are aliens that should have seen us by now. Maybe they have seen us. Maybe they're watching us right now, or they're amongst us, but they just don't want to reveal themselves because they're so advanced that they know that's a bad idea.
But again, it's like we're talking about like the law of large numbers here. I mean, even if there's
that
one
law sounds so real.
No, it very is. It's not like a super law.
Why couldn't they have
like,
used someone's last name for that one?
Because you don't need to. It's just large numbers.
I wish that's how laws.
I wish
that's how philosophical laws and theories were named.
Just after what they actually are.
The law of big numbers.
And Fermi's paradox would just be like the alien paradox.
The law of confusing things.
Yep.
That could probably cover most of the bases for naming laws and theories. So is that what happens when you think of something real big, you just slap your name on it?
Yeah, because then no one would want to invent anything because they wouldn't get credit for it. Like if I invented a life-saving medicine, I'd be like, yeah, this is the pain medicine. Which I guess,
okay, but that's a little
now
bit
that I think of it doesn't work. But
yeah, you're in a bad spot.
But even if, it was like, the Tuck theorem, when it was like this great life. Yeah,
awesome.
Wouldn't you feel like pretty awesome about that?
Sounds cool.
You wouldn't want it to be like, you did
Trump.
You
did get to my weakness of cool things being named after me.
So everyone feels that. That's why
in
they
reality
wanna...
it's just sugar water. I'm not very good with the sciences. Said, well, what if you invent something? What if you invent a weapon? Like, remember, that's the plot of Iron Man, is that he slaps his name on it, or well, his dad did. Or
Stark Industries. It's a last name, so they're all
well,
kind
but
of...
it was his choice as, like, since he was acting as the CEO.
Yeah.
He slapped his name on it, blew up some village. Someone saw Shrapnel or whatever his name.
That had Stark Industries on it.
Now they want to kill Stark.
And they were...
So, moral of the story, don't put your name on a bomb.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well,
yeah, don't make bombs. That would probably solve a lot of our problems.
I remember I was watching Story Corps. I've been watching a lot of story. You know what Story Corps is?
Corpse?
Story Corps, like corporation.
You mean core?
No.
Wait.
Corps.
No. You don't... I don't think you pronounce the P in that.
You don't pronounce corpse?
No, it's just like the core, like the Marine Corps.
Well,
it's not the Marine Corps.
It depends.
It's the Marine
It depends
Corps.
on how you...
Because it's not core like CORE. It's the Marine Corporation.
Well, yeah.
But you just say the Marine Corps.
Well, Marines, you pronounce it differently.
So you would do it for anything that has corporation in it.
If you follow English or if you're cool. Anyways.
Yeah, we speak American
so,
here.
I can't wait till the day where that becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
the time is
anyways,
now.
I've been watching that YouTube channel. Sure, you
Okay.
can figure that up with that blunder.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and there was a story about... was it on that? I think it was, where the story, I can't remember. I've been watching so many of them. They all mix up and they have similar plot lines. And normally they follow veterans because the whole idea of them is that they let anyone who wants to remember someone come in and tell a story about them, and then they animate it. So there's there's ones about like husband and wife it was like an old granddad who was a family man, or veterans, and all these different stories. And one of them was oh no, it was in the movie that we watched in AP Lang. Remember the guy, if you were actually there that day, his son was killed his son passed in 9/11, and he wrote a letter to a soldier and wanted a name written on a bomb.
Yeah.
And the bomb ultimately, I don't know, it blew up something.
Yeah, because he got the name written on a bomb, and it like blew up a hospital, and like civilians died.
And then he
was
bad.
like, "Oh my gosh!"
So he became really awoken,
Yeah.
by that, and he was really distraught.
Words.
He was really woke, and he was. Is this going to be the show now? Mitchell criticizes me speaking.
No, it's not.
We're on here for an hour at a time.
Speaking, it's just I just hate words that get like someone comes up with, and then they get overused, like they're like like God levels of importance is like, oh, I'm awoken now. It's like you probably don't even know what it means to be awoken in its original context. Well, you just start saying things because they sound good.
Yeah. Maybe take some.
Okay,
maybe take
fine.
some. Maybe take some joy in life, Mitchell.
No
No.
joy.
And
joy.
back to the utopia, because emotions are bad,
Yeah,
and
it's
the ultimate
utopia.
flaw in humans is that we. Okay.
My utopia is the one where River stops talking. That's all I need. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that gonna solve all of our problems? Is that if I so you're telling me if I put duct tape over my mouth for the rest of my life?
Yep, everything's perfect.
Everything, world peace.
Yep, you're the sole cause
Hunger.
of the world's problems.
Is my speech?
Yep.
It's like the butterfly effect. We're getting pictures taken now. We should.
It's not like we have like a
be-
live stream that's
well, we
like
should be-
constantly taking pictures like 24 times a second over an
that's
hour.
not- that's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Yeah,
Just
you
take a
guys,
screenshot
you
of
guys
it.
should,
It's
if
right
you're
there.
listening on the radio, go check out our. What's the Twitch?
So now we have multi-streaming. So right now we can only stream to like 2 sources. We were able to stream to Facebook for a little while, but so I'm gonna level with everyone here. The problem with radio stations is that we have a public like license to be able to play Katy Perry on the radio because we have our educational nonprofit et cetera license. But when we're streaming that same thing to YouTube doesn't care. It just sees Katy Perry being streamed on some guy named Mitchell Payne who has 20 subscribers, and he is like, and YouTube's like, no, we're not doing this, and it copyrights it, so it has to take down the stream. But it's nice because streams just kind of keep going. So even if like old stuff gets taken down, the new stream is constantly going. But Facebook just sees anything copyrighted. It was like one thing by David Gilmour, and it was like, nope, shut this video down, and it canceled the stream.
Oh, wow.
So we can't stream to Facebook at the moment. We'll see if we can figure that out. But so we're streaming on Twitch TV, and right now it's I was just testing it, so it's technically on my account, but it's twitch.tv/Calorino. That's my username.
If your your voice gets quieter when you say it, maybe you shouldn't have had to say.
And then the YouTube one it's just a really strong string of digits, because until we get like, I think it's like 100 subscribers or like 1,000 total views, you have to just stick with like the randomly generated link. You can't like make youtube.com/riversthebest or anything. But if you just go into your fancy schmancy Google
sounds good.
And you just search 89.5 WAHS live stream, then it'll go right there, and then you can see one of our beautiful faces.
How does copyright not get, well, because there's like Futurama and Bob's Burgers got taken off of Netflix, and now there's a constant live stream of episodes of that on YouTube. How's that not getting taken down?
So
they just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, it's like if you upload a video that's 1 5-minute video, and it has, copyrighted stuff in it, then YouTube can just look at that video and be like, this is copyrighted, and take it down.
But that's if they see it.
Yeah. Well, they will see it because they have it automatically scans. It's like it can hear the copyrighted music, and it just like detects it and shuts it off.
How?
Because like 400 hours of YouTube are uploaded every minute. No person can. Wow. No person
you got really
can just
excited with that P.
YouTube just has to have AI that can automatically detect this kind of thing.
So they have AI that has a list of all copyrighted sounds.
Yeah.
And when they scan stuff and check this, that sounds insanely complicated.
It is, but it's the only feasible way that they can do it. It's the only efficient way.
I thought the only
you
way
can't hire nearly enough.
I thought the
people
only
to
way
do
that happened is if it got flagged.
Nope. So. Even like the YouTube stream,
if it plays for a couple seconds, it's all right?
It depends. I mean, there's fair use laws. It's like if you're doing a review, you can play snippets of like a movie and stuff, and they can't take it down. So in some cases, you have to fight it.
How does the program know that it's a review?
It doesn't. So it'll automatically flag it, and the person has to go and they have to like kind of fight it. They have to appeal
go to
it.
Internet court.
Yeah, that, or you're kind of sponsored by they're like YouTube families per se, and they're like law oversight. So it's like pretty much every big YouTuber you know of probably belongs to one of these group family things, and they kind of do the law oversight, and they're like, okay, we trust Markiplier's not going to do anything illegal, so we're not going to automatically flag anything. We're just going to keep an eye on it just in case. Yeah, so if you kind of build a reputation and like kind of sell your soul, so to speak, then you can kind of get out of that safe situation. Because like if you're someone who does reviews and you still need to monetize, like that's how you make a living, then obviously if everything's getting taken down during prime time hours,
making a living on YouTube is becoming progressively more difficult.
Yeah,
and
because the adpocalypse.
Obviously, like you say, you always want to take devil's advocate. So I would really love to hear how you advocate for YouTube on this one.
Ouch! Oh, that's tough.
Well, okay. While you figure that argument out, I'll just outline it for anyone listening. So basically, someone uploads a bunch of stuff to YouTube. They get a channel. They get a big following. Lots of people listen to them, and they like seeing their content or whatever. Well, at some point, if enough people are watching their videos, they're going to start monetizing it. And if an ad plays before or whatever, however it works, they're going to start getting money. Not a lot of money. They're going to get like a nickel for not even. They're going to get like really minuscule amounts of money.
Really small.
But it racks up. When you're one of the people who has millions upon millions of views or hundreds of thousands on episode or whatever you've done, then you get some money for that. And it's not really enough to live off of unless you're one of the really big names. Yeah. But it's at least a steady flow of income to, reimburse you for putting in to buy a mic and whatever and producing the show, whatever. So, that's one of the things that they always say, if you're going to get into YouTube, do it for fun, not to make money, because you're probably not. So that's the story. And for a while, it was going all right. People were making a bunch of money. There was a huge bunch of people coming into YouTube. There's tons of channels. Before that, it was just like maybe a couple big ones. And now it's like every day you get on there and there's another person with millions of subscribers. And everyone's finding different ways to make videos. And now people are like, there's like wars going on through media of people getting angry at people for using bad tactics to get people to view, using clickbait. They use a title that says something and then it's partially true, and it's just so it's very People Magazine creeped its way. It's creeped its way. It's creeped its way into YouTube. Well, now as of late, YouTube has done a series of things to demonetize videos, and one of the biggest ones is that it flags videos. Okay, so what it does is it tells advertisers, the advertisers will say, okay, I want to put my advertisements on a YouTube video. And you say, okay, here's a bunch of videos, go ahead. And well, now the way that they do it is they tell them about the video, and they tell them if there's swearing in it, they tell them if there's crude content and stuff like that. And that's all fine and dandy. Sure, you don't want a kids ad playing before a video where someone says bad stuff, whatever. Yeah, you get it. So but the problem with it is that the categories that they're flagging these videos with are really obscure, and really like almost everything can follow into that. So you really can't say anything. You would have to be the most perfectly well-mannered person in these videos, and you would have to be so bland. You can't do anything controversial at all. Otherwise, you're going to get some sort of check mark that says crude or whatever, and it's just not fair to these YouTubers who were used to be making a living off of it, and now they have to go get real jobs. Right. I say real jobs. YouTube is a job in its own. It's entertainment and producing content. Well, now these people have to go out and get more jobs, or they have to ask people for money and ask for donations through the good heart of their viewers who enjoy them and want to see them keep making content, because they're not making enough money now. Because from a business standpoint, I understand you're not going to advertise if you see even a check that might be that a video is not good. You're not going to advertise there because you don't want to take that risk. You know, certain companies will take the risk, but for the most part, a big company they aren't gonna bowl with that. You don't want to Pepsi or whatever.
Nobody wants to align themselves with that, like, because they're like interesting political commentary shows I watch, and I'll watch things on either side just to get everyone's viewpoint, and it's like Coca-Cola doesn't want to come out one day and have all their ads being played on something that's like Democrats are the best, Republicans are the worst, you know, and have Coca-Cola now like associated with that, because that could do more damage than good when they're spending all this money on advertising in the first place.
So the big thing is like it's not that they're blaming corporations. The YouTubers aren't angry at corporations. They're more angry at YouTube, because in a way these YouTubers are the reason that YouTube got big. I mean, the whole thing with YouTube is that they didn't. Without
the people, there's
YouTube. Nothing. Without a supply of content to your content-based website, you would not have got this. And the really funny thing about it is, as they demonetize people, they find more and more ways to monetize their own stuff, which is really even bigger of a red flag on their side, is because they're coming out with YouTube Red. You pay for it, and if you pay a certain monthly subscription, as everything is now monthly subscriptions, you get all these different perks. You get to watch videos in the background, and you get to watch certain series that only YouTube Red members can watch, and you get to do all this other stuff. So they're just finding more and more ways to make more money, make a buck for themselves, while slowly diminishing how much their actual YouTubers are getting, which is a big problem from their own. Even if it's morally wrong or ethically wrong or however, it seems like a really bad business practice, because you're steering people away from making a living on your website. Even if I haven't heard of a time where YouTube was in financial trouble. I couldn't even imagine it. You're steering these people away from making content on your website, and you're going to lose all your content. So you're eating your own tail. You're going down either way.
But think about it this way. I mean, because YouTube isn't the most profitable thing in existence. Like, they're not losing money, but it's not as lucrative as you might expect, because of the amount of videos that are uploaded all the time. And like you say, YouTubers themselves don't often make all that much money, and so neither does YouTube themselves off of every single video, but they have to host it, they have to pay for all the servers, they have to develop it, and all of this stuff is really expensive for them to do it. So it's a healthy platform for Google as a whole, but they're not making like $1 billion from it. So you're saying, you know, what happens if the content disappears? But what happens if the people who are even putting the ads on anything in the first place disappear?
Yeah.
Then content keeps coming, but then YouTube isn't making money anymore. And then, you know, like they start bleeding themselves, and then before you know it, YouTube shuts down no matter what. So I think they're just trying to sit in like the best equilibrium that they can find between enough ads.
I understand it, and from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But the way that I have gotten it is that there was always a pretty strong connection between YouTube and their YouTubers.
Yeah.
And there was always a pretty unsaid but well known. YouTube stays out of it. We make our content. We make people happy. We make you money. That's the deal, man. Let us put our content on your website. Because there isn't anything stopping them from uploading their content to another website, except for the fact that there isn't another great website.
Yeah, it's like there's Vimeo, but nobody goes to Vimeo.
Which is
like nobody cares.
I'm really surprised that no one is jumping on this opportunity to make a YouTube spinoff. I guess it must be so impossible.
Oh, they're
to
trying.
replace.
Yeah, but it's the numbers just aren't there.
I haven't seen a single big person jump over. Well, the one thing that I have seen people do is that less YouTube content, more Twitch streams. Which is really sucks for me, because we were talking about this beforehand, and I really don't prefer live streams because I like to watch it from the beginning, and I don't want to jump in late. And I guess this is my own problem. Yeah. But the way they do it on a live stream, for everyone who isn't aware of how Twitch works, is you live stream and people can donate through that. And do they make there's advertisements to play before. Do they make money off of that, or?
So the person doing the streaming themselves can decide to play advertisements. It's not like a necessary thing. So if I have like 100,000 people watching, you know, if there's like a dull moment in the stream, I can play an advertisement and I'll make a couple cents off of everyone who's there for that.
Gotcha.
Unless they're like subscribed to me, in which case they can veto that, or if they have a effective ad block.
Yeah.
I'm surprised not more people talk about ad block. Because that's a huge, massive number of people who use ad block, which, like,
if there was no ad block on YouTube, these YouTubers might not be having as much of a problem, I almost feel. But I have no comment because I love ad block.
Yeah, like, I'm going to say right now, like, there are even some people, because people on YouTube, like, they'll say, like, if you're using an ad block, if you want to support my content, turn it off for just my channel and, you know, just deal with the ads. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I love,
because then you don't even have to, have to pay your own money then.
Yeah, all you're doing is watching the video. Seconds. And then I watch like 10 seconds of a Toyota commercial. I'm like, nope, I can't. I'm sorry. I love you, man, but I can't. No.
That is, that's one of the things that I remember talking about it in one of the social studies classes, at least, is that attention spans are dipping really, really, really hard. People, there's the I'm not sure how proven it is that the new generation has less of an attention span than a goldfish. I think it's more of just a saying than factually proven.
That's a saying, because goldfish are like, it's a little bit better than 4 seconds, but it is small.
But yeah, it's to the point where a 10-second advertisement, we can't be bothered. You want us to watch that? You want us to sit there? No, that's insane. So it's a complex situation where 10 seconds of a Toyota commercial is just, we're not down with that. So we have to ad block where these people could be making money. So anyways, back to Twitch, and what they do, and that more relies off the goodness of people, is that they can go and donate. And normally what they'll do is, okay, so I'm playing a video game, I have a camera pointed at my face and it takes up a little corner of the screen. You can see my face for my reactions while I'm playing the game, and someone who's watching can click on a link and they can go donate 50 cents, or sometimes people will have a amount that you have to donate. You have a maximum amount. Like
usually
$5.
minimum or like $2.
And the reason
people can donate like 5,000.
The reason they don't do like 50 cents amount is because what people will do is they'll have it when you donate, it'll pop up on screen with a little animation and a text box, and people have different ways of doing it. Some people have it programmed that when you donate, you can leave a message and a bot will read it. And obviously, if it's something crude in it, so that's why they make it so that you have to donate like $2 to be able to get it to count, because they're not going to let people constantly blast crude things onto their stream because they'll get in trouble for that or whatever. So that's how people make money on Twitch, is that they're relying more off the goodwill of people and off of people just getting a hype out of seeing their name pop up on a screen.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit less about the goodwill. I mean, like, I suppose, like, because you can also subscribe to people, which means, like, you pay, like, $5 every month, but you get some extra emoticons, and again, like, the streamer sees that. And I think it's, like, this better system that people are moving towards, especially on YouTube. I've noticed since, like, Adpocalypse is happening, where people, like, viewers, like, they're willing to pay for these things, but they want to get something out of it. Like, when you're donating, you're not really just donating $2, because I've done it before. I'm not just giving you $2. I am paying $2 so that I can get my name on the screen, and 400,000 people can see whatever stupid message, like, oh my gosh, Mr.
Well, I mean, we live in the age of microtransactions now, which is a really interesting business idea, and it works a lot in these games that are on phones where you pay $2 and you get something in the game, right? Well, if you think about this is such an amazing business plan, because they don't that doesn't cost them anything to give you something that is virtual and means nothing. So microtransactions are a big thing. I'm sure, like, older people are like, where are all these kids' money going? They never have any money. It's because we're going online in video games,
Clash
and
of Clans,
we're buying a hat for our virtual character so that our virtual friends will think we're virtually cooler. It's just okay.
$400 CS:GO knives, dude.
Yeah.
$3,000.
It's a really interesting and I think extremely unexpected a part of the economy now, because, like, the way that video games work now is that there will be rare items you can obtain in the game, and certain games are like this, other ones don't really have it. And CS:GO is probably the biggest one, where you can obtain rare items in the game, and then there's a black market for them. They call it black market. It's really not that edgy. They just want to sound cool when they go on the black market. They go and they'll sell items to other players. And be like, okay, I got this in game by chance and it's really cool, really rare. I'll give it to you for $5. And the dude's like, all right, cool. Shift the money around. Now one person has $5, and now the other person has a bit of code on their account that says that they have this shiny new weapon or whatever that they bought in the game. So it's a really interesting dynamic with people paying money for something that isn't physically there. So then it comes to kind of what your morals are, and if that is something that can really entertain you and keep you happy. Like, does making your gun a little bit shinier, is that worth $2?
Because I've there was I'm gonna say a time in my life.
Oh, I'm not an angel.
Where I was
done
big
it too.
on the Counter-Strike thing. And like, I would spend, $5 to have, like, a nice looking gun with some cute stickers on it. And that was like,
cute stickers that
I enjoyed that, because you're pretty sure the game's not going anywhere. The fact that you can even sell those items later means it's not necessarily just like buying. You're more like renting it for a small fee, because you're going to lose a little bit money, because Steam takes a little bit of a cut every time. So it's like, I can't just sell it for $5 again. Now I have to sell it for like $5.10 if I want to keep that $5. But yeah, I mean, you are getting something out of it. You're getting the pleasure of having that. I mean, it's like, River, why do you have these clothes? I mean, why aren't you just wearing sweatpants? You bought these because you wanted to look better.
Very true.
It makes no difference on your actual life.
Going back to utopian society, like, if you really wanted to strip it all away, we would all just be wearing clothes that were only sufficient for our needs and no extra anything. That normally actually becomes partly true when it comes around to wartime. People start clothes become more or less and less. Do you call it conservative?
Well, because it just becomes more and more of a luxury. It's like movies become more of a luxury than just like a cool thing.
If a girl is wearing a long dress, someone might call them conservative. But the term conservative, if you're wearing less
in a lot of contexts.
Well, exactly. That's the word conservative is weird, because if you're wearing a short dress, it's also conservative because you're conserving how much material you're using.
I mean, technically, I guess, but you realize how far out of context that is.
No. Well, yeah, but like in war times, we start to wear less and less clothing. I mean, you see people now wearing like clothing that is just huge, like way too big, like big fur jackets and stuff, and like pelts and stuff. Like pelts are coming back now in like the hip hop
I
game.
haven't
Like
seen
people are
them.
wearing pelts. It depends on who you listen to.
Because now even pelts is like a huge moral
like,
issue for
like
a lot of people.
Post Malone does that. Shout out to Post Malone.
Yeah, he's
Anyways,
Post Malone though.
yeah, and like all this stuff. But I'm sure if we were in another wartime situation, that would probably die off. And also, you think grills would go anywhere? You know, like the golden teeth that rappers normally, hip hop people normally wear. Do you think grills would go anywhere?
Are those here?
They
now?
are. They're
Are
huge
they
right
still?
now. Yeah, they're huge.
Wow,
that's a really big
really
thing.
out of it.
And grills and necklaces, especially a lot of, and what they'll do
Well,
now
yeah,
is that it just gets more and more lucrative. Now the big thing is to get like a crazy design on your necklace or chain or whatever that is like way too detailed. Like rappers will get chains of their faces encrusted with diamonds and gold, and it'll like be really detailed, and like the more detailed or funny or whatever it is. And then they'll end up getting really silly stuff. Like they'll get an ice cream cone. Well, that's not a good example because that's someone's symbol. But they'll get something really like a Bart Simpson one. And it's like, why do you need... There's no resale value for a Bart Simpson chain. Yeah. It's a weird part of the hip-hop scene right now. That's my little blunder onto hip-hop for today.
I mean, is it really that crazy? Because you have heard about these things. I mean, somebody bought that Simpson necklace.
I think it's awesome.
And it got beamed at your direction. So they didn't just
awesome.
buy it to have it. They bought it because it gave them the publicity that someone on the R.A.M show was going to come on and talk about the fact that they've gotten this necklace.
Maybe.
I mean, they are buying a little bit of advertising.
It wasn't good enough because I don't remember who it was.
Well,
I'm
they
sure
need to try harder then.
I'm sure Little was in front of their name because all rappers have Little in front of their name now.
Little John.
You just throw Little.
Well, I mean, they're
Little
still like
Mitchell.
big too.
Little Payne. You could be Little Payne. That
Little
already
Payne.
sounds
I'm the
like
youngest.
that sounds like
so
a real thing.
Little
I could be Little River. It sounds like a real thing. You just
mean,
slap Little in front of anything.
Yeah, when I got to this
And
school,
you're a
I was
rapper.
Little Payne because Miles is my older
jeez.
brother, and I was
I'm
like,
Little
"Oh, are
Payne.
you the other Miles?" And I'm like, "It's me."
The other Little Payne. Yeah, that's.
I never really subscribed to that. Like, I'm not a very cosmetically invested person. Like all last year, well, I guess past 2 years now, always every day the same blue jeans, t-shirt, hoodie. That's it. I kept my hair nice and short. I'm not deal with this. Can't handle this longer hair, man.
Right
it's
now.
so itchy.
Yeah, I was like I had that going on freshman year with like sweatpants and graphic tees, and that was it. Like that's all. I could not be bothered. And then there's always like moral arguments about it where people are like, oh, you don't need to dress up and look like something because then you're just giving other people a say on you, or you're letting other people judge you or stuff. Man, I just want to look good. Like, I'm just going to throw on something new because I think it looks good and it makes me feel good looking good. Like, that's my opinion. You know?
But why
I'm
do you
not
feel good
enforcing
when
it.
you look good? Just because you look good, or because you know that other
feel good,
people
look good,
know
play
that you
good,
look
baby.
good and you feel good? Like,
Confidence. I don't
when
know.
you're just like sitting playing a game and like you're doing
I
really
think
well
you're
at
already
it, but
digging too deep into
if
it.
no one, no, like, okay, what if you're playing like Tetris all by yourself? Nobody sees it. You're not
What?
playing multiplayer with anyone.
What?
No, just let it happen. Just let it happen. You're playing Tetris. You've gotten the highest score in the world. Your mind explodes. You don't tell anyone. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Do you really feel that good? Or if everyone knows, you're on the news, the media shows up at your door. They're like, River Tuck, did
Tetris high score?
Did you get the Tetris high score? River Tuck, oh my gosh, wow. You're going to feel better. So when you're playing Tetris and you're getting those high scores, you're going to feel better. So when you wear clothes to make yourself look good, is it really just for you? Because yes, you are feeling better, but you're feeling better because other people are seeing you like that. Nobody
you
dresses
could
up
see
in
my
a tuxedo,
facial
sits at
expressions.
home, and then eats summer sausage in their tuxedo. They go out to feel good
Okay.
because they look good.
You thinking too deep in it. I just like.
I think I'm thinking
I
about
like
it
wearing-
exactly as much as it
I
should
like
be.
wearing dad hats, baseball hats with really simple designs because I think they look cool. That's me. Where the idea came from that they look cool, I don't know. Somewhere on Instagram, probably someone said, "Hey, this is cool," and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good thing." So I like wearing dad hats with basic designs on them. That's like on my shopping list. And I think certain types of shoes look good. I don't want to wear those Nikes with holes in the side of them. Is it a problem to my survival? Not necessarily. But I'd still, wants and needs.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down. Okay. Little plug, by the way. Tetris championships are wild. Have you ever watched those? They're interesting.
Speedrunning I'm really into.
No,
but
Tetris championships. They sit there and it's insane. It's a whole subculture. It's a whole
subculture.
It's a whole thing on the internet. Tetris championships is like a big thing, and it's kind of like bowling, where you get so good at it, you play perfectly. It's just who's less perfect. You know how like in bowling where it's really just who doesn't bowl a strike first, not who bowls the most strikes. Yeah. So in Tetris, that's what it is. It's like they play the game so perfectly. It's just who doesn't do. And yeah, that's how it works. Is like they give each other. They both play on exactly the same order of blocks that come down, and then it's just who doesn't do it the best. Right. I don't know. It's weird. I watched a video on it, and I don't know how I got there. I was just so bored clicking through YouTube, and I got there, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I've never seen a Tetris championship. I mean, whenever I'm doing something...
It's like one of the oldest popular games, though. Like,
true.
The older games especially, I think, have the most dedicated subcultures.
But arcade games don't seem like they should have a championship.
If it has a score, it has a championship.
Do you think there's Pong championships?
Yes. If there's ping pong championships, there's Pong championships.
I've never seen it.
Well, I mean, I've never seen
a lot of things.
20 people riding an elephant, but I'm sure it's happened.
It would be a big elephant.
Or tiny people.
Or tiny people. Tiny people, big elephant.
A bunch of toddlers. I wrote an elephant once.
A book by Mitchell Chain.
Mitchell Chain. That's my rapper name.
Mitchell Chain.
I'm Mitchell Payne. This is my Mitchell Chain.
I think we need a music break after that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's pull up something, whatever's next on the list.
No, I don't want to play what's next on the list, River.
Is that an ad or a song? That's a song.
Yeah. By the way, all the people... No, I don't know what that song is, though. I've never heard of it before. Do you know what that song is?
No.
No. So we're not going to play it. We are not going to reduce the standard of our personalities.
That's not the standard.
By playing a song that we don't know.
Someone put that in the file. Someone enjoys that song.
No, it wasn't someone. It was the machine. The machine put it there automatically. We just have a library, and someone just the machine was
You're
like,
revealing our secrets to everyone.
Oh, spooky secrets. Say, let's get the webcam. See, that's what the screen looks like. You see it? That's the software.
They're gonna hack us now. That's how it works. That's how it works, right? You show them a computer screen, and they're gonna.
That's not gonna happen.
I thought that's how the technology works.
I am gonna. We're gonna have to, because I want to play something that's not gonna get a copyright takedown when this video goes up on YouTube. Because that's what we have to avoid. You could pull something out of my file.
Because all my your songs are really like.
Nope, yours got copyright striked last time. I remember it.
Wait, what? How?
On the our live stream, when we not the video of this itself, but the live stream got taken down. Post-mortem per se, because
really
I heard that
strange. So is it like the older songs aren't copyrighted then?
If I don't know what system does it. Like, I don't know how I would put my music into like this copyright database.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it exists. But it really does have to be quite small. So I am going to find a song here. I love how much time we're taking just before this break is even happening.
Well,
I just keep
it at least gives people an insight into how radio works, because when I first started with radio, I had no clue as how like music actually got played on air. And in reality, it's basically just us shuffling through a different version of iTunes trying to pick out a song. We literally like we double click the song and then it plays to everyone. That's how the radio works. Surprise, surprise, everyone.
I'm gonna play a Jorts song because Jorts is cool.
What is Jorts?
What is Jorts? He was he's like an electronic producer guy.
He was?
He's in college. No, he is.
Oh, okay.
But he was in studio, and he and I did like a 2-hour interview because he had a new album that came out. So I guess I can give him a little publicity here. Which one? I like these songs. Let's do Stargazing. That's a cute song. So this won't get a copyright takedown, and it's not one of my songs, so I don't have to feel bad.
There you go.
So we'll be right back. You're listening to 89.5 WAHS, Auburn Hills. I am Mitchell Payne.
River Tuck.
And you're listening to The R.A.M Show, Episode 7. We'll be back. This is Stargazing by Jorts.
I was gonna turn them on, but normally you give me the little hand gesture, the little point at me like they do in movies.
You know what?
Yours isn't even.
Hit it again.
It's a broken
again.
button.
There we go.
There it goes.
It's time.
Are you gonna turn it on?
It's time
I
to
did.
graduate, River. From
a
this point
broken
on, I'm
button.
not gonna signal you anymore. This time you're just gonna have to do it. You're just gonna have
Okay,
to hit the
but
button.
do you realize that all of the hardware training that I've gotten is pressing these two buttons and sliding these two sliders up and
Actually,
turning that knob?
it's 4 buttons because there's 2 for off and 2
wow,
for on.
You got me there.
You know those
I
program
have
buttons, right?
No, I have no
And you
idea
turn
what
this
these do.
dial to turn up the headphones earlier. I didn't do that. You did.
All I know are 4 buttons and that dial. That's it.
So
2 sliders.
that's
And
like
I don't know what
4,
any of these
6.
buttons do. I don't know what the rest of these are
So
connected
you say
to.
program.
Okay, we're not going to
to
do this on
program-
air. This
okay.
is not an on-air thing. We
Okay.
could do. We could make videos and like teach people.
Make like video tutorials about like how to radio and just put like the camera like back here and just watch me like DJ up this place.
Oh, like a cleaner version of How to Basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's not plug that
No,
one.
don't Google that. Just don't bother.
What have you been up to? Because I came back last time with Boys State, and I came back this time with the story of Up North. Where you been? What you doing?
Well, I mean, other than the 2 hospitalizations
Yeah.
of my
I think we covered that last
yeah,
time.
my
with
intestines
the
eating themselves.
intestine
Did I talk about
sock-
my teeth trying to eat themselves too? Because I got
no,
those
we
taken out
haven't.
now.
Wait, I'd love to hear this one.
So,
Did they chew each
so
other?
most people have 4 wisdom teeth, right?
Okay.
And I had 6.
Okay.
So I already had 2 more teeth
You
than any human should.
You had a big boo.
Right,
boo-boo
that was
in your
already
mouth.
weird mutation. Thanks, Mom, for that.
What? She
Her
tried her
genes,
best.
not mine.
She tried her best.
Yeah. Okay, and then so they took those out a while ago. That was fun. My stitches fell out. I bled for like 2 days.
Oh, great.
Sorry for you. Was it hemophiliacs out there?
Is that what that is for? Why do
If
you
you're-
know
if you're
long
scared of-
words?
I like words.
That's
my thing.
I like words.
I mean, my first show I did here last year was melodic electronic and a whole lot of big words. That was just what it was called. Because it was a lot of big words.
I don't know if that was a sentence or catchphrase or what.
It's just a really long, obnoxious title. Anyway,
Okay.
so eventually they find out.
Versus
I'm
RAM.
just RAM.
Okay. All right.
So
teeth,
I'm
teeth,
doing like some casual dentists, they just doing a scan. That's what they do. And they're like, what are those 2 little dudes over there? So like in the side of my face for you stream people, like right there, kind of to the left of my nose, I had like 1 extra tooth on the top and 1 extra on the bottom. Just like in the middle of my row of teeth.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go back in and get another surgery. So they had to cut my gums away. They just peeled them back, gouged the tooth out, and then glued those gums right back. Well, I guess they stitched them.
That's.
So I've had 2 oral surgeries.
I feel like I can deal all right with gross stuff, but hearing you explain peeling
What,
back.
you don't like
I feel
talking
like
about
peeling
having your
back-
gums peeled back?
Peeling-
Sounds like a torture.
I feel like peeling is inherently a very bad word, like torturous, gross word.
Poor potatoes, man.
Like
Just get
I'm
peeled all
sure,
the time.
I'm sure in Game of Thrones, in the book version, Song of Ice and Fire, I'm sure peeling was a prominent word, because it's all about like torture. And,
I don't know.
And bad. You don't watch Game of Thrones?
Nope. I don't have
Oh,
HBO.
Jeez, you could pirate it.
Are you really going to condone pirating here on a public?
No, don't
funded
do
government
that.
educational
Don't
station?
do that. Don't do that. Anyways, you
Just
could
buy your
ask
stuff,
a
guys.
friend
Turn
for
off
it.
your ad block.
Yeah.
Be a morally upright,
more-
upstanding person. Okay.
Anyways, you don't watch Game of Thrones.
Nope.
You're one of those people. Oh no.
Really? Am I one of those people?
Okay, well,
River, I'm
with the
pretty sure the
new-
bigger part of the population doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
Well, that's the thing. No, that's the thing with the new season of Game of Thrones is there's this really big uprising of people making memes of jokes about how they don't care about what's going on. They're like, I'm so happy. I can sleep well at night knowing I don't care about what's going on there. Trust me, you're missing out. I mean, I originally was skeptical about it because I didn't want to be on the bandwagon, but after watching it, it's that good. It's that. I could tell so many spoilers right now, but I won't. That would be really.
Everyone
bad.
dies. It's literally every show and movie
yeah,
ever
mostly.
is everyone dies.
Well-
that's always it.
Well,
And then there's the one dude with the sword who's like, "Winter is coming" or something. Like that. That's the meme that I know.
That's Jon. That's Jon Snow. Well, actually, no.
Jon
That's
Snow.
Ned. That's Ned Stark in the first season. Jon Snow is now kind of taken his place almost.
Did they have like an actor replacement thing?
No.
Oh.
Jon. Well, he has a different name. We thought that was the actor's name was Jon
Well,
Snow?
by the way that you were telling it to me.
Oh, no, Ned Stark was ruler of Winterfell. He went bye-bye. Spoiler, it's season 1, sorry. And then it's actually like the second episode that he goes bye-bye. So if you haven't
Well, for the
seen
people
that,
who were really into the pilot, you just ruined their day.
really into the pilot. And Jon Snow's like Big Papa of the North. Big Papa of the North.
Big Papa of the North.
So now he's the one that says, "Winter is coming."
Is that how he says it?
Honestly,
Because that makes it much less menacing than the meme makes it look.
Kit Harington is. I thought it was Keith for a second. Kit Harington is in. Yeah, Kit. That's his real name. Kit Harington, the actor.
All
he's awesome. He's really great.
You know him personally?
Yeah, I've had coffee with Kit Harington. That's where do you think I got?
How have you not talked about this? You're talking about you
inspiration.
climbing rocks, but you didn't talk about the fact that you had coffee with a famous actor from a famous show.
He's not that.
That's whatever.
He's not that. It's not that
fine.
much star power.
Minor character.
But he probably
dies too.
He got the long hair look from me. Yeah. Despite the
No
fact
one's
that
ever done long hair before.
No.
You're the first.
I'm the first.
Yep.
In humanity, this conversation is going on because I got really excited to talk about Game of Thrones, and I was like, wait, spoilers, that's not going to be good. I almost want to have like a show where I want to explain the entire plot of Game of Thrones to you from my perspective, and then like have someone who actually knows about it can explain it to you, because I'm sure I would be all over the place. I'd be like saying stuff that happened in season 6 before season 1, and just stuff that's so wrong, because it's really confusing to watch, because it's a really big world and lots of like cities and places you have to remember, and it's so impossible to keep a track of. Like, for the longest time, I thought that the main city where everything was going down was on the east border of this island, and apparently it was on the west. Or I pointed the wrong way. On the east. It's on the east, and I thought it was on the west. And I was like, I was like talking to my brothers, because what we do is stop the blinking of your distaste in this show already. Like, me and my brothers like crowd onto a couch, me and 2 of my brothers, older brothers, and he got HBO, and we watch it in his room through his Xbox, and we crowd there every night, Sundays nights at 9. Yeah,
not a sponsor.
And it just proves,
that made it sound really sponsored.
Oh, it did. Okay, but you can't sponsor
Subscribe
Game
to
of
HBO
Thrones.
every
They
Sunday
already
night
had
at 9 p.m.
Anyways,
Not a sponsor.
but like,
I actually unsponsor them. I de-sponsor.
you haven't even watched it yet. You might like it.
Maybe, but okay. So very small tangent. My way about games, like, if I don't have the money to buy it, like for Skyrim, I didn't play the game for like 2 years. So even though I was really into Morrowind, which is the 3rd game in the series, Skyrim is like number 5. So I was really, really into Morrowind. I wanted to play Skyrim, but I couldn't. And so I didn't watch anything about it. I stayed as far away from it as possible so that I didn't feel bad. So I probably would like Game of Thrones, but because I can't watch it, I avoid it completely.
I
recommend that to anyone.
I got you. I do the same thing with new releases of games, especially sequels or spin-offs of games that I already know, even if I don't like them, because I don't want to. For a while, I always dug really deep into, like, because it is a lot of drama and a lot of like interesting stuff to dig into with development and stuff. I just don't want to read, because like something they might say about the development of the game might rub me the wrong way, and it'll just carry on with me, like Destiny. I read into Destiny so much, I did it too much to the point where I thought it was going to be amazing, and then it came out and I was like, nope. I think the best thing is like, what it is. It is the best game in existence.
Okay.
Brink.
Sure.
It is the best game in existence. I've been researching more after this conversation about Brink. I've been researching more about why it failed so bad, because I don't understand it, because I wasn't like paying attention to video games when it came out. I think it was, I actually don't know what year it came out. What a true fan. I don't know what year it came out, but it was when I was younger, so I wasn't paying attention. And I got it. Truly, I didn't even get it when people were around. Like I said, when I played it, like no one was on the. Anyways, I got it in like a bargain bin at GameStop. Still the greatest game I've ever played. But what apparently happened to it is it had a No Man's Sky type situation where it promised too much.
Oh, and it just disappointed.
Yeah, it promised so much. Despite it being a good game, it promised so much. But that doesn't make sense, because No Man's Sky promised so much and was a bad game. Well, it was a good game, but it didn't have enough.
No, it was bad.
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I haven't played it either, but what I heard, I mean, Tristan and I on the zip files, we talked about it a lot. And then later, after yelling at it, he went and bought it, and he was like, "This is exactly as disappointing as I thought it would be," and returned it.
Oh,
so
well,
I'm sure it is bad.
I should do that. Buy games bad reviews and return them.
Well, I mean, you can on Steam. You can return stuff if you play them for like less than 2 hours for any reason.
Really? Oh.
Yep. So get a bunch of free demos per se.
Until my very until I end up like forgetting the 2-hour mark and just gone, and then like $60 spent on a terrible indie game. I could talk
$60 indie games. What does the world come to?
I could talk about a lot of failure, especially like Kickstarter failures have become a really big thing on YouTube. Are you familiar with Yog Ventures?
I'm thinking of iDubbbz because he does
a
lot of Kickstarter.
Yog Ventures, basically this big YouTube channel called the Yogs Cast. They're in England, so I doubt many people have heard them in the U.S. and the States. They gave someone permission to make a game called Yog Ventures. It was around the time that Minecraft started getting big, and it was basically a voxel. It was another Minecraft-like game.
Gotcha.
But it had the characters from the channel in it, and it was supposed to be huge. Kickstarter, they only wanted like, I say only, they wanted $250,000 only, and like 10,000 backers and whatever, and they ended up getting like pretty close to $750,000. And tons of backers. 3 people donated $10,000 so that, and the reward was at that point to like have lunch with them. Anyways, the way it went is
someone would spend $10,000.
They ended up getting out of it. They ended up getting out of it pretty decently because they weren't making the game. It was someone else, so they kind of like scapegoated that guy. They're good people, like the people in the Yogscast are good people, but it was just a really shady business plan, and that's how Kickstarter works. I mean, if you put money into it, you're not guaranteed anything back.
Yeah, it's like buying an early access game. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know if you don't get anything back. There's nothing legally that's going to be taken out on them. There is something in Kickstarter that you have to like reimburse them with something. So they ended up giving them Steam keys for some game that nobody wanted and was ultimately bad.
Shocker.
Yeah. So, but then what they almost got in trouble for is that once a Kickstarter fails, you are required to do, if it fails, is you have to release where all the money went. If it's successful, you don't have to do that. If it fails, you have to tell where all the money went. Oh boy, where's that 500? Where's that half to $750,000 gone? And suspiciously, 150,000 of it went to the Yogscast, went to their company. And the explained reason was that it was going to aid them in shipping out people's rewards that they got for donating. So it sounds good enough. You can't get mad at them getting money to give you what you want.
150,000
right?
in shipping?
Exactly. So it was going to go to that. Well, they also had to buy and produce the stuff that got sent out, like T-shirts.
Okay,
posters.
so it was manufacturing and distribution.
Yeah, but in reality, it wasn't. 150,000 still probably was not accurate, and then still people didn't get all their stuff.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
So
nobody got any of that. I don't think anyone got the lunches. What they ended up doing is they sent out an email, not a letter, nothing like that. Nothing signed. They sent out an email from one of the lead guys behind the corporation, and said, "Hey, sorry about all that. Here's a key to this game." It was more poetic than that, but yeah, that was a really, really big scandal because they are in the UK. They're like a really big deal. We don't really have any YouTubers here that are like that because the Yogscast is a group of YouTubers. They're like a family. They're more like a dozen people in it, and they're a whole company. They have they do sponsored videos and stuff, and they have accounts that are attached to them. They have a main channel. They have people behind them. They have offices. They were in a place called the Yog Towers for a while. It was just some office space, and now they've moved to a new one, and they do like videos of where they've moved, and it's like this big place. They have rows of computers. They have top of the line servers, so it's not just people making content. They've actually made a business out of it,
right? And
they hire art people to do like animations for them, and people who will do videos. So it's not just these people doing it on their own. So it's because it's taken away they're like taking away less of the work from the content producers, and they're not really content producers. They're just the content. So the people will come out and play the games, do whatever to get people to watch, and then someone else will handle. They still do a lot by hand. They're still involved in their business and so on and so forth. Yeah, but that was a really big scandal. But In the UK, they're huge. They're like a really big. They're almost like like legends. But here's the funny thing: is that these people spent $10,000 to go have lunch with them, when all you really have to do is just go to Bristol, their hometown, and just kind of walk around, and you'll probably see one of them. They're normal people. Like
you can
they
see
go
one of
outside.
it. Doesn't mean you can have lunch with
Well,
them.
you could. Yeah, I mean, you could walk up to them and be like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink or buy you lunch?" And I'm sure they'll be like, "All right, sure." I mean, if you're really that dedicated of a fan,
that'd be really creepy. Imagine, okay, what if the R.A.M. show became famous?
So.
This is already hilarious. What if the R.A.M. show became famous?
Oh God, no!
And I'm like walking to school one day casually, and one of the fans just shows up. It's like some 60-year-old dude. He's like, "Hey, do you want to grab lunch? I remember you from the R.A.M. show."
I don't see anything inherently wrong with that. As long as you're not a creep about it. As long as you're not coming up like breathing down there like, "Hey, you have to have lunch with me." That would be creepy. But if you're just like, "Hey, I really like your stuff, and I would like to treat you out to lunch and pick your brains about your life and how you got to where you are," that's a really easy, friendly way to propose that.
If they like sent you a message on Facebook or something.
They don't read those.
We read those.
Who?
Well, us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking.
No, we read those. But I'm saying
like,
when you're famous to the point where you're having hundreds of thousands of comments and messages sent to you, you literally hire someone to look at them for you, or you just don't look at them at all.
I mean, maybe if it was once, if one person wanted to go out to lunch, maybe. But I'm sure that actually does happen to them like a lot. Like they get recognized, and people are constantly asking them, like, "Will you sign my baby's forehead?"
But no, they're YouTubers, not Kiss. It's a little. They're not quite.
Did you
yet.
watch VidCon?
No, I didn't.
Was
it that bad?
Okay, like these YouTubers showing up and like billions of 12-year-old girls like swarming them, and he's falling in like a fountain.
12-year-old
he's being
girls
like attacked.
12-year-old girls have a much stronger opinion on YouTubers than we do. Well, I'm just saying. Okay,
maybe,
listen.
but okay. What if you were getting swarmed by 12-year-old girls who were asking you out to lunch? Wouldn't that be a little weird?
If you're in the place to pay $10,000 to have lunch with someone, you're also in the place to be a normal person and walk up and say, "Hey, I'd like to buy you."
You are in less of a place to be a normal person.
Well, yeah, because you're crazy.
No, because you're a celebrity. No, celebrities can't just Johnny Depp can't go around having lunch with whoever recognizes him.
I'm saying if you're the person who donated $10,000, you could just try and find the person and just be like, "Hey, do you want to?"
That's like
I don't think
stalking.
It's creepy. No, because these
guys
like
are legally a problem.
Okay, but they're really famous, but they're also not really famous. Like they're huge. Like they're a really big deal. Like they're in newspapers. We don't have YouTubers in newspapers. Like they're a big deal, but at the same time, they're not to the point where like people like harass them. Like they do vlogs and they just walk down the street, go get ice cream. Nobody's like attacking them. They're just like, "Oh, hey, Duncan." Like they see him every day. They live in the town. They have to go outside. It's not like celebrities have to go out and do stuff. It's not like Kim K, where if she goes out, there's paparazzi everywhere. They don't have paparazzi.
No.
If someone walks up and like, "Hey, can I have a picture?" Like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take a picture." I mean, when you're like, they're at that great part of being famous where it's enough famous that like you have all these people who love and adore you, but not so famous that you have all these people who love and adore you. You know? You
know what, man? I bet it's only a matter of time. Especially with even like cable TV, like those kinds of things, they're losing, the viewership of that is going down because people are like, I could pay $100 for cable or I could pay $15 for Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, movie industry, movie theaters are going down slowly.
If I moved out, I would not have a house phone and I would not have cable. I would just have
We don't have a house phone already.
I would just have Netflix, Hulu, WWE Network, and YouTube Red. And that would be much less than the cable bill. And I would probably be able to see just as much stuff. And if not, pirate. So
could you stop?
I covered that one up. Yeah, but like they're like pretty famous. But the other thing is that they've definitely made up with it for some goodwill, is because every year they do that live stream that I've told you much about, their Christmas live stream where they raise like millions of dollars. All the gaming community bands together, like, all right, we spend $1.50 on Clash of Clans. Let's just spend $1.50 on some kids in need, and it works out like that. So they've definitely made up for it in goodwill for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fine and great. But I mean, as long as the internet is still growing, which it is, I mean, even, radio itself is like, radio is now an older technology compared to things like streaming services like SoundCloud and Pandora. I mean, we even upload this stuff to YouTube now because people aren't really like. I mean, we didn't announce, "Hey guys, we're doing the RAM show on a Tuesday afternoon."
People can't be bothered to turn on.
Right.
To go turn on a radio, because who has a radio in their house anymore? The only place people have radios are in their cars.
I have one, but that's because
I have one, but I'm saying like normal culture, who has one in their house, or if they do, they don't use it. It's an alarm clock with a radio setting, and they don't even use it because that's just that's the culture we live in. Like I said, with the whole declining attention spans, we just want like entertainment now. We don't want to like listen to a show or wait till a certain time. I say that, but I was talking about being at 9 o'clock watching Game of Thrones, so it's different. But yeah, radio is. But the way I view radio is, while it is declining and it's a hard thing to admit and a hard pill to swallow, I look at it as like a step to getting onto the higher. Not the higher, but getting onto other areas. I mean, if I was in the situation where I had moved to like a YouTube or a live stream service or whatever, and I was producing content in that, I would still throw back to WHS. Like it's somewhere where you can get your experience on a level that is. It's almost like the less viewership of it makes it more safe. You're not getting judged as hard.
Safe, yeah, I suppose.
Plus, people on the internet are toxic and on YouTube. That was I think the first episode, wasn't it, that we talked about toxic communities? Yeah.
I think it's really interesting, though. I mean, just the fact that right now, in this, that the past 5 minutes of this conversation, you have just said, I mean, even like 5 years ago, this would not have been a thing.
Don't pick my words apart.
But you said, I mean, I'm not picking your words apart, but just the fact, like, if I become like a big internet streamer guy, I will throw back to the times that I was on a, giant signal radio station. Right. Like, everyone would be like, man, I hope I get a like on a YouTube video. And then, because like Justin Bieber was found like on YouTube, right? And then he became famous on the radio.
That's true. It is weird.
Like,
it's a reverse.
It's starting to flip now, where it's like, I'm going to start at my school radio program and then become a famous internet star.
I think our school radio program is definitely unique.
It's the best. You should come here.
I mean, if I had to choose between like being on a big radio station, one of the big local ones or big nationwide, if I got to choose between that and being like a content creator on YouTube, I'd go for the radio station. I think there's something much more valuable about being live behind a mic and producing your stuff, because there's more of an added challenge to it. Here. Yeah, professional. Wait, you're telling me WHS is professional?
WHS isn't inherently professional, but there's something nice about it, because people stream from their houses in their pajamas. They true. Eat takeout food.
Wait,
they mute themselves and they eat themselves.
If I show up to our next stream, I'm calling it a stream instead of a show now. If I show up to our next show with cams on and I'm wearing pajamas, are you going to throw me out?
No, I will celebrate. It'll be a great talking
next
point.
Next time, pizza pajamas, if I can find them.
Great.
Pizza pajamas and a tank top with Cheeto dust on it and whatever beanie I think looks nice.
Okay. We'll both be rocking opposite day. I'll try to dress as nicely as possible. I'll wear a nice tie and everything.
Suit,
see if I can find one of those suits with shoulders that are too big, because I got it at Salvo's. Yep.
Yep. All right. Expect that interesting dynamic next time. Wow. We've been on air for a whole lot. There's too many numbers on that screen for me to figure it out.
It's that one.
It's the big green one.
The one that says an hour and 41 minutes and 7 point something.
8.87.
I couldn't even say it that fast.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we've been on air for a while now. I think we're going to sign off. It was really great being in here again and being able to talk about, what did we talk about? Game of Thrones and dystopias and stuff for this one.
And having
I'm just trying to give you an idea of what to make the YouTube caption this time.
Oh, yeah. What did I call it last time? Because I guess like in the title it was just
intestines eating themselves and government.
Yeah, and like mock governments.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I think we're going to sign off here. Put a cap on episode 7 of the R.A.M show. We'll surely be back for 8. We have much more access to the studio now, so we'll probably be getting on air a little bit more for our loyal fans that actually do tune in at 9.
Oh, shout out to to Colin and Scarching in Ben, I believe. Yeah, in Illinois. They're like Illinois friends from when I was like
Oh, gotcha.
5 years old.
Gotcha.
And then they found a way to contact me, and so we've been talking, and they're like, "Oh, guys, I love the RAM show."
Yeah, just
And
gotta
they put
throw
a-
the link everywhere.
Yeah, they put like a RAM show reference in one of the recent videos because they're like
No
they do like
way.
little YouTube videos.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So they put a RAM show reference in their video. So
I haven't seen this.
I feel I'll show it
Oh,
to you.
for
and
sure.
So there's the reverse reference.
the
so-
reference inside the reference.
Yeah, I think it's like
We have to
scratching
plug
on
them.
YouTube.
What's their show though? We have to plug them then.
I don't think they have like a. Oh, they do a show. Well, now I feel bad because now they're gonna watch this and you ask me that question, I'll be like, oh, what was it called? But
Oh, I
I'm
put
pretty
you on
sure
the
like
spot.
Ben Scarching. I think if you Google that, you'll find it.
And
It's like a S
so
on
that's
fire.
the plug. We'll get them a better plug next time.
Yeah.
Maybe
We'll put like links in the YouTube description.
for their.
We have to make like show notes for now.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. All right, so Ram Show signing off. I've been River Tuck.
I've been Mitchell Payne, not anymore, but I have been in the past.
I have been River. What if I leave here and this is just an alias I go by for the show?
Well, it's kind of a pathetic alias.
Oh, what? Okay.
I mean, at least, I guess River is like a cool name, but it's like you can
Yeah.
at least be a little more edgy. Like I could be like, oh,
Edgy?
dude, I'm Alpha Core. What up? You know, because that's my
Edgy.
producer
What if I don't
name.
want to be edgy? Have you seen WWE names? They're simple, like Kurt Hawkins. It's not his real name. You just liked it. Or Xavier Woods.
Xavier's pretty edgy.
Oh, what?
It's a name, but
normal
it's pretty
name.
edgy. Well, it has an X in it. Any word that has an X in it is instantly edgy. X-rays, dude, edgy.
What about Becky Lynch?
The
whole Lynch thing has nothing to do with her dynamic, by the way.
No.
That has nothing to do with it.
No,
She's not
that's
dark
pretty
or
normal.
edgy.
Becky's
Yeah,
like
see?
whatever.
But that's not a real name.
Yeah, so it's that's a pathetic one too.
What? It's not pathetic because she's famous and you're not.
Doesn't matter. Excuse me.
Mitchell Payne.
I'm famous within the confines of these walls.
We were in the
Does
middle
that-
of
does that
signing
count?
off. Just let it.
You're the one who argued with me about the whole naming
you
scheme
called
thing.
River Tuck
You
a
coulda
pathetic
just-
alias.
It's an awesome name.
When I
a
become
pathetic
famous on
alias.
WWE, when you see me going for the WWE heavyweight title, you're gonna be like, "Wow, I feel dumb," because I'm still gonna carry River Tuck as my name.
Let me know when you wake up from that dream. I'll be here.
Oh, I'm so crushed right now. All right, I've been River Tuck, not an alias.
I've been Mitchell Payne, and I probably will be for the rest of my life. We'll see. You're listening to 89.5 WAHS, Auburn Hills.
The RAM Show.
Yeah, episode 7. We'll see you next time for episode
8.
9.
Or,
We'll skip
or
8.
if we forget,
We'll just do
forget
9.
one.
Why
All right.
Okay.